You're watching Access Minnesota. Here's Jim Dubois.
Welcome back to Access Minnesota. We're talking about smart grid electrical technology and ways that consumers can save money on their gas and energy bills. And Crystal Manik from Xcel Energy. Crystal, you're managing a program in St. Paul, a pilot program utilizing energy feedback. Tell us more about that.
Well, it's our energy feedback pilot program. As you said, we launched it in December of 2009, and we essentially reached out to 35,000 customers, residential customers of ours that receive both gas and electric power from Xcel Energy, and we asked them if they would be willing to participate in the pilot. And moving forward, we'll be communicating with them typically on a bi-monthly basis to let them know not only how they're doing in terms of their energy usage, whether they're having a better month than they maybe did the month before, but we'll also be talking to them about on average how their neighbors are doing as well. Again, we don't give specific information about specific accounts or addresses. We really work off of an average of about 100 customers in a given service area, and we come up with an average, and it gives those customers a sense of sort of where they're falling into in terms of their energy usage, because we find that oftentimes not only reducing that energy bill but also that competitive spirit to want to do as well or sometimes better than their neighbors gives them that extra incentive to see what they can do to reduce their usage.
Now, some research has indicated that when customers are able to see their electrical usage or gas usage and see how they're consuming it, that actually that inspires them to conserve. Are you finding that to be the case?
Well, it's certainly one of the things that we're going to find out within the next 3 years of the pilot. That's something we're going to be watching very closely. But it's true. When our product development team started working on this potential pilot back probably a year and a half ago, one of the things that they came back to us with is that very thing, how inspired customers are with that sort of competitive spirit, but also it's about understanding their energy usage. That's really the first step for most residential customers in trying to install energy efficient products in their homes. It's about first understanding what their usage is, but also understanding that there are small things that everyone can do in their daily life to reduce that energy usage and reduce their energy bill. A great example is that, most customers that I talk to, when I tell them that on average they can save up to $5 per bulb per year simply by switching out a standard light bulb with a compact fluorescent bulb, they're struck by that, because you walk through your home and you count how many light bulbs you have in fixtures and floor lamps and table lamps, and you begin to understand the impact of that one small step. And the added things about using compact fluorescent lighting as well is that you don't have to switch it out as often as you do a standard incandescent light bulb. So simple steps are often the way to really get customers on track with reducing their energy usage and becoming more energy efficient.
Now, Xcel offers energy audits. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
That's a great program for us. We've had the audit program since about 1983, so it's one of the longest standing residential programs that we've offered to our customers. What it is essentially is we'll send an auditor to your home who'll spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours. They'll start out with an analysis of your bill right at your kitchen table, talk about how you're doing. Sometimes that's a great indicator about what you need to address first and foremost in your home. And then at that point, they'll go through your house with you. They'll look at things like your heating and air conditioning systems. Sometimes it's about making, more expensive improvements like replacing them. They'll give you information about the efficiency ratings that you need to shop for and sort of what that typically will cost you and how long it will take you to pay off that investment in terms of savings every month. But they'll also talk about small things you can do, like changing out your filter every month so that it runs more efficiently, having it serviced every year to make sure that it's running safely, because of course that's a major priority for us as a company as well. We want our customers to be safe. But then they'll also go through your home, they'll go up into your attic, take a look at your insulation. They can tell you if what you have is adequate or if you need to consider upgrading that. But then when they have that conversation, they'll also let you know about some of our great rebate programs. We have a terrific insulation rebate program that we've relaunched this year that's going to be available both to our natural gas and our electric heat customers. So sometimes it's about understanding what improvement you need to make and then how you take that step. At the end of all of it, they'll provide the customer with an audit report. So it will have 3 priorities that you need to focus on primarily, but it also gives you lots of suggestions about, as I said, small things that you can do behaviorally. Simple things like when you leave the room, turn off the lights. In using power strips so that when you have appliances that we refer to sometimes as energy vampires, like television sets, you know, people don't understand that when it's plugged into the wall, it still is drawing some energy that way. So an easy thing to do is put a power strip out, plug those appliances into that, and then turn the power strip off at night when you go to bed. So sometimes it's about major improvements that you may be ready to make, but sometimes it's about small steps. And that's really what our energy efficiency programs are about. And certainly the Energy Feedback Pilot is a great way to sort of pass on that information as well as provide resources for those customers who are interested in taking the next step.
And I understand that one byproduct of smart grid technology might also be the ability to better monitor what's happening on the electrical grid. The way things work today, Michael, from what we were talking about at the break, if there's an electrical outage somewhere, the power company normally has to rely on a customer to call and notify them of that outage. With smart grid technology, the system itself might be able to notify the power company, and in some cases, I understand, possibly even correct the problem. Is that true?
That's very true, Jim, and it does surprise a lot of our customers to know that we rely on them to call us and tell us they're out of power when it's a local power outage versus a widespread power outage. So smart grid technologies will allow us to monitor the system, like I said at the beginning of the show, knowing what the energy is doing, cold to cool air, wind to light, along the entire value chain means knowing what it's doing at the lowest levels of our distribution system, and knowing when there's an outage and it notifying us so that we can react more timely than waiting for a customer to call. So for example, in our Smart Grid City project in Boulder, we now have real-time monitoring of all of our distribution transformers. And a distribution transformer looks like a pole on top of a pole, a pail on top of a pole, or one of those green boxes in your yard. Typically serves between 5 and 10 homes. When that fails, the outage can be somewhat lengthy because you need a crew to go out there and replace that box. So a few hours. With a smart grid, in a smart grid world and with smart grid technologies, we actually monitor that real time, so we can prevent an outage from occurring if there are certain signals like voltage fluctuations, or at the very least, when there is an outage, we can react much more quickly. So smart grid has the potential to significantly improve overall reliability.
Michael Lamb, Crystal Manik from Xcel Energy, thanks so much for joining us.